So I'm working on the top rail from entry gate and measuring. I got a little bit of a slope here. Let me show you how I'm doing it on this side. All right, the current entry gate, it's kind of got this T-post stretch thing going. That's where the existing gate is. This part here eventually is going to get cut off, so I'm going off of this post. It's about 55.5 inches. I wanted it to be a full 60, but the top rail with the 2 3/8 on top, it'll get me pretty close. Anyway, so I have a little bit of room to cope right there. 55 inches. I came down here to this last post. You can see initially I measured 55 inches, but of course I got concrete. There's a little, you can't tell on the camera, but a little bit of a hump there. So that was just a guess. So I put the line there. And then, because it slopes, a level won't work, so I eyeballed it. The next thing I did was I walked it, putting my shoulder up against the string. And if my shoulder touched the string all the way up evenly, I felt pretty confident that it was following the earth pretty good. And if you, I don't know if you can see the string. But I marked where the string touched the pole, roughly, give or take. There's gonna be some grinding and cleaning after I torch it. And then, you know, I'm about 2 inches below there. But anyway, that's where the top rail is gonna sit, which is 2 3/8, so it'll be a little bit taller than that. But that's where I'm gonna put my saddles. I'm gonna mark those and I'll show you that next. All right, so quick update. I was pretty naive and thought it'd be smart to flame cut my copes, and almost immediately on this one, I caught the grass on fire, which kind of makes sense since it's super dry. Bastrop's in a burn ban. Even though welding and that trade is exempt, it was still a stupid idea. Not only that, my fire extinguisher gave one squirt and then broke. Brand new. A little pissed about that, but I got the fire stomped out. Now what I'm doing, which is not ideal, is I'm coping. I don't know if you can see that. By the way, I'm coping these pipes using a zip disc. So it doesn't look that great. What I'm doing is, see if I can figure out how to do this. There we go. I'm cutting a straight line, and then I'm doing 45s so that it looks like, kind of looks like this. Nothing sanding won't fix, but honestly, I'd rather do that than catch all of Smithville on fire. Don't want to be unneighborly. So this is slower, definitely not ideal, but sparks and flame are different. So I still, you know, got lots of dirt around to put fires out if I need to, but that was sketchy. It took me about 30 minutes to calm down before I could figure out what to do next. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. All right, so I'm a little out of breath. I've been moving some pipe to get stuff ready. But to give you an idea, I got all my saddles cut with the zip disc to where I want them. And I haven't sanded them down yet. I mean, they're just rough cut. You can see that. But this is a piece of drop off of one of them. Give you an idea, this does work. I mean, it's not terrible fit up for zip disc cut. So it does work, just a little bit slower, but once that's cleaned up, it'll be even better. But progress so far, slow, but it works. All right, it's about 3:30. I've been at it for, I don't know, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. Let me see if I can turn this around, show you what's going on. All right, so I got everything coped. I showed you that. Top rail not welded in. This is my second side. I'm showing you this one first on purpose. So it's a little bit long here because this length of pipe and the other length of pipe that I'll show you in a minute are the exact same, but my posts aren't exactly the same. I was 4 inches off across 36 feet. So that's why that's there. This is 2 7/8 pipe. That's 2 3/8 pipe. So the fit is, you know, not great. But as far as welding goes, if you can jump over it, you can weld it. And the fit is actually not terrible. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. All the way down. And I stopped halfway onto this because I want to be able to weld here and here, get more weld zone before I connect it to the last piece here, which is where the gate's going to go. So I'm leaving that section, not even going to worry about that today. But anyway, you can kind of see that top rail works pretty good. I'll weld it down with almost no issues. This is my second side. Over here was my first side when I put the posts in. And I checked my posts, they're all level. But I'm sure in the distance you can see the problem. I misdrilled a couple posts, meaning I'm off. It doesn't line up just perfect. I'm probably, well, I'm off 2 3/8. Not a big deal. Just gonna put a come along onto this, onto my truck, pull it this way, which even though it's perfectly plumb right now, I'll pull it out of plumb a little bit so that that lines up. I'll pull this one out of plumb a little bit and that one out of plumb a little bit. Nobody will ever notice. But being my first side, got that problem. The fit up here is good, but I miscoped this one. You can see that gap there. So hopefully whenever I start manipulating the steel, that'll fix itself. So I got a couple issues on this side, but same drill, about halfway. So I've got all this weld zone in here, and then I'll connect it to this last piece, which will be where the gate's gonna go. So it's coming along slow, a little hiccup on this side, pretty good on that side. So that's how it goes, building gates and fences. But it's metal, it'll move. I'll make it work. All right, more updates later. All right, it's the next day, it's Sunday, and back out on the property to get the more work on the fence done. My first order of business was to get that pipe over there that was off back in line. Let me show you how I'm doing it. All right, I'm using the good side, the straight side that worked out well. On the bottom, I got 2 come-alongs, because I just failed to do it properly, to the top of the opposite. Pulled it kind of tight, not terribly tight. Then use my worn winch off my hitch to the top of this one, and basically fits, so I can hold it, I can tack it pretty quick, and I can let go, and then slowly release these, and this pipe should come back in line. I'll let you know how it goes. it worked. So I got it tacked up. It's not pretty because it's a big gap, so I'm not gonna get too close. That's some bird crap if I've ever seen it. Anyway, I still got this hooked up, winch to my truck, and then I took off this one and repositioned it over here on the end. I need this to be straight, which it is for now. It'll change probably whenever I pull the straps loose, but I need it straight so that it'll line up with this last one. And then whenever I take it loose, it may warp a little bit. I'm not going to be too happy about that. Go back into being wavy, whereas this one is just straight. I did a much better job on this side. So I'm going to be fighting this side a little bit, but it's straight for now. So now I'm going to get to work, get this last section put in on both sides, drop my hinges on this first before I weld on, and go from there. More later. Here's the latest. Got the top rail tacked in all the way down. I mean, it's just tacked. It's not, that's gonna take some work. So just tacked. Ooh, that one's ugly. Just tacked. But pretty straight. I'll make it look like it's one solid piece. The side over here, again, just tacked it in, put a little bit of tack on the joint. Got my hinges on before I did that for my gates eventually. So that's done. Even though I got straps making this one work, it's pretty straight. It could turn into a pretzel once I let loose, I don't know, but it's better. So that's where I'm at so far. Next step, I'm gonna cut those pipes, rough cut them to size to fit in here. I'm gonna do 3 across, evenly distributed on each one, so it'll be top rail plus 3. That's the goal. So that's next.